Hello and welcome, I'm Emmanuel, and this is the Daily Christian. Our message for today is called Rebuild Your Altars. Let us go to the book of 1 Kings chapter 18 and we'll read from verse 31 going forward. And Elijah took 12 stones according to the number of the tribes of the sons of Jacob, to whom the word of the Lord had come, saying, Israel shall be your name. Then with the stones he built an altar in the name of the Lord, and he made a trench around the altar, large enough to hold 2 seahs of seed. And he put the wood in order, cut the bull in pieces, and laid it on the wood, and said, Fill 4 water pots with water, and pour it on the burnt sacrifice on the wood. Then he said, Do it a second time. And they did it a second time. And he said, Do it a third time. And they did it a third time. So the water ran all around the altar, and he also filled the trench with water. And it came to pass at the time of the evening offering sacrifice that Elijah the prophet came near and said, Lord God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, let it be known this day that you are God in Israel, and I am your servant, and that I have done all these things at your word. Hear me, O Lord, hear me, that these people may know that you are the Lord God, and that you have turned their hearts back to you again. 38. Then the fire of the Lord fell and consumed the burnt sacrifice, and the wood and the stones and the dust, and it licked up the water that was in the trench. Now I want to speak on the subject of altars and rebuilding your altar. If you read the Bible, kubva Genesis, Bible rotaura zvakanaka kuti nemhaka yekuti Abraham, Isaac, Jacob vanhu vanga vari vafambi panyika, they dwelt in tents, vasina basa nekuti vanga vaine mari, they dwelt in tents. Handiti saka nemhaka yekufamba kwavaita, they knew that they would be moving from one place to another, so they had no time to build a temple or a place to worship Mwari zviri regular. Even if they were to stay at a place for a very long time, vanga vasingavaki church. Handiti. Now, I'm not saying anything about building churches or not building churches. I believe that building churches is a very good activity. If we can plant as many churches as we can have many people coming, feeling comfortable with church. But I want to speak on the subject of personal worship. Now, Abraham, the first thing he did was that he would set up an altar. A place of meeting with the Lord. So the altar was for him a physical symbol of a spiritual encounter. Saka aizuti kana asvika panguva yekutanamati aizati handingonamatiri panzvimbo yose yose, asi ndine kanzvimbo kangu kakona kandopinda ndonosangana naMwari, tonetsana tiri papo, ndobva ndabva zvangu ndodzokera pabasa rangu. And he taught that principle to his son Isaac, akazvidzidzisa kumwana wake Jacob, zvikadzidziswa kuvana vavo nevana vavo zvidzika zvakadaro, to the point yekuti vakutoenda vana Joshua vakutoenda kuCanaan. Joshua erects an altar as well of stones pana Jordan as a memorial and a testimony to the meeting place of the Lord. Jacob achienda kuPadanara anorara panzvimbo yanovata, panzvimbo iyoyo yanovata akatsamhira dombo, anomuka asangana naMwari obva aisa an altar panzvimbo iyoyo, and he calls that place Bethel, meaning kuti the house of the Lord. It wasn't the house kanga kari kadombo, kanga karipo, kanga kadira mafuta, but the house was the place that the Lord had come to meet with him. But it so happened that after so long, vana vaIsraeri vapinda muidolatry, vakutevedzera Bhaari nezvekunamata zvaitwa zvezvitombi, vanombokanganwa kuti there are altars where the Lord is to be met. And not only that, by that time Mwari vakanga vatotendera kuti Solomon avake temple. So the temple of the Lord was there. The temple of the Lord was there, but vanhu vakanga vasisina the personal devotion kuna Mwari, vakanga vasina moyo yakatendeukira kuna Mwari, nemhaka yekuti the altar had been broken down, nemhaka yekuti nguva yekunamata yekusangana naMwari yakanga isisipo. Saka vakanga vasina mukana kuti vasangane naMwari kunyange machechi anga akazara. The temple in Jerusalem was there. Vaiendako every weekend kunonamata ikoko, but they had not their hearts turned to the Lord because the altar yakanga isisipo, nzvimbo yekusangana naMwari personally yakanga isisipo. Vanhu vakanga vasina the heart turned to the Lord. Saka zvogona kuti kuchechi chiri kuenda every weekend, Sunday kana Saturday, we are there at church worshiping the Lord, but the altar has been destroyed. Saka nemhaka kuti hapasina altar yekunamata nayo Mwari, we have come to a point where our hearts are now following after Baal, though we are still outside worshippers, tiri vanhu vanonamata Mwari zvekunze asi mukati maamapari. So at the encounter pa Mount Carmel, Elijah akuita face to face with the prophets of Baal achapinda mukati menyaya because we know it very well. Verse 21 nyaya inototi kwanzi, choose you today whom you shall worship. Kana Mwari ari Mwari namata iye, kana ari Baal namata iye. But then it comes to a point where Baal's prophets have failed to do anything. Chaita kuti vaburutse moto kubva kudenga. Then now Elijah now comes and he says, now I'm going to rebuild the altar first. Dada kutanga kudzokera paruti yenyaya. Abraham paisangana naMwari akatanga agadzira altar. Saka ndichagadzira altar first. Ndombotanga ndasangana naMwari pa altar. So rebuilding the altar is a spiritual encounter yekuti dzokera pawakatanga kunamata uri. I'm not saying kuti pa location yekunamata, but I'm saying kuti dzokera pa activity yekunamata yawakambotanga uinayo. You used to have a prayer routine yawaitiwo kana ukati unomuka na 4 a.m. unomuka na 4, you have your Bible in hand, your hymn book in hand, your notebook beside, nepen yako, you kneel down, you sing hymns to the Lord wakapfugama, then you read the Bible wakapfugama. Obwanamata kuna Mwari, you write down what you want the Lord to do for you and what you are also committing yourself to do to the Lord. Then you give your time per lunch hour, you are going to give yourself 15 minutes to pray, and you are in a spiritual activity within a 7 man. But because of the cares of the world, you have now reduced yourself to formality. But the prayer, but the power that is in prayer, you have lost it because you have destroyed the altar because of power. And by power I mean because of the cares of this world. But today I want to tell you kuti when you rebuild the altar, paunodzokera pawakatanga kunamata uri, paunodzokera pawaisangana naMwari uri, when you rebuild that altar, when you stand again panzvimbo yekuti Mwari, I'm coming back again. Ndanga ndakamborasira kure matombo angakavaka altar yangu. Meaning I'd lost the motive, the drive. I'd lost the time of worship. Not but now, dear Lord, I'm coming back again because I want to prove to you and to the world that the Lord is God. Because I want to prove to myself and to the world that the Lord is still God. And so I'm going to rebuild that altar. I'm going to put again the incense of prayer. And the Lord is going to come through. After the stone had been rebuilt, what consumed the sacrifice, and people knew that the Lord, He is God. Saka dopa noko ninyaya yangu mukashimezwa nasi. I want you to understand that the Lord wants you to rebuild that altar. Start it again. You know, by practice. You know how habits are formed. Habits are formed by regular practice. Some say it takes 21 days, some say it takes 66 days, but it takes as long as you are willing to take it. Meaning you're going to have to do it every day, not for 21 days, not for 66 days, but for every day of your life, rebuilding that altar. And He is ready to answer when you call on Him with a true heart and in system. Remember, you used to give testimonies of what the Lord has done for you because you had the time. You had the time. Because you had the prayer altar, you had your time with the Lord, and you had your equipment, you had the time, is number distractions in my phone. You remember you used to switch off your phone, now you are praying the phone beside because you believe the Bible is in the phone, and whenever a notification comes, prayer altar, why not take the time again to rebuild your altar? Go back to the practice you have. Jeremiah says, search for the old ways. Go back to the old paths. Go back to that place, and the Lord is going to come through for you. May God bless you, and always remember, He loves you and He wants to hear from you.